The Supreme Court has been on a tear, getting ready to tear up all of your constitutional rights having to do with reproductive rights and a number of other things. Well, they've got another issue area in their sights because the Supreme Court this week announced that they are going to take up and hear a challenge to the consideration of race in college admissions, so-called affirmative action. They are now coming for it. The court said it will take up lawsuits claiming that Harvard University, a private institution, and the University of North Carolina, a state school, discriminate against Asian American applicants. A decision against the schools could mean the end of affirmative action in college admissions. Lower courts have already rejected those challenges, citing more than 40 years of high court rulings that allow colleges and universities to consider race in admissions decisions. But that's just like precedent or something for like a half century. We didn't get a conservative supermajority in the SCOTUS to abide by precedent. And so Francesca, these right wingers, I'm gonna guess 98% of whom are white that are behind this, are very worried about discrimination against Asian American college applicants. What do you think?
I mean, this court is so radical that it basically plucks anything out of the lower courts that's already been decided a million times and elevates it so long as it seems to obliterate any kind of, I don't know, like democratic norms or rights of like anti-discrimination laws. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they pluck up like a property dispute between like Brett Kavanaugh's uncle and his neighbor about which side the pomegranate tree is on, and they're like, this needs to be in the Supreme Court. Yes, and I rule that pomegranate tree is on Uncle Kavanaugh. Like that is what they're doing. Now there has been a long, I mean, I think it's a really interesting discussion, but really what they're doing is essentially allowing for affirmative action to go away, right? They want it gone, and they want any kind of attempt to correct historical inequity and crimes of the past, i.e. legacies of slavery and Jim Crow in this country, inability to access higher education. They want that all gone because that's all critical race theory, that's all done. Right. And I think Asian Americans are a good sort of Trojan horse to basically say, well, see, they're people of color too. You know what I'm saying? And again, Asian Americans in America, in the United States, are often seen as this model minority. And there is a ton of racism within the Asian American community and with other communities against Black Americans. Again, a lot of this has to do with just bottom line anti-Blackness. So let's not 100%. Forget that.
Yeah, no, totally. And by the way, how might this go? Because just because they're talking about it doesn't mean that they're gonna overturn it. Well, the court's most recent pronouncement was back in 2016, a 4-3 decision upholding the admissions program at the University of Texas against a challenge brought by a white woman. But the composition of the court has changed since then. 2 members of the 4-justice majority are gone from the court. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died in 2020. Anthony Kennedy retired 2 years prior. The 3 dissenters in the case remain on the court. And then there's other justices that have come since then, but I'm not sure which way they'll go. I don't know. So I will end with a poll. The fact that affirmative action might soon be gone, that your reproductive rights might be Thanos, is the Supreme Court something to consider during elections or to not consider during elections? You got an A and a B. We'll give you the results after the next presidential election. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.